Hello, chefs in training. My name is Kathryn Hubert. I own a French-inspired restaurant in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I'm here today to demystify French cooking for you and make it accessible in your own home. While you'll see a few little clips of my life at work on this channel, these cooking videos will be centered here in my tiny apartment kitchen so that you can easily follow along in your own space. So pull back your hair, grab an apron, chef tip, tie the strings in the front so that you can tuck a towel in for easy access. Trust me, you'll want it close by, and let's get started. Today we're going to go over two French principles, Mise En Place and Mirepoix. Mise En Place is definitely a principle. Mirepoix is more of like a recipe building block. Let's start with Mise En Place. Translation, everything in its place. This is the act of setting up your space and having what you need within an easy reach. It's the first thing any chef does when they enter the kitchen and precedes any and all cooking. You set up your station, you get your food out, you get it washed, you get it ready. You have containers set near your station for your prepped food and a bowl nearby for any scraps or trash. This is, of course, really helpful on a commercial level. It takes 2 people 45 minutes to an hour, for example, to get our work kitchen set up and ready for service every day. But this is a crucial step and part of making sure that our day goes smoothly and that we can execute food service without running back and forth to grab things, which ensures that we stay on top of our time and the amount of time it takes to get food to our tables. But B, while not as pressure-filled in our own home kitchens as it might be in a restaurant kitchen, it is still equally important to get set up and ready in our own space. It saves us time, it'll save us valuable counter space, and it'll save us peace of mind. Real quick, before we get too into the prep, but we've got all of our mise has been placed, everything is in its place. We're gonna go over a couple of knife skills. If you can only have one knife in your kitchen, having a 8-inch chef's knife is what I would recommend. I've had this knife for probably close to 20 years now. It's my best kitchen friend. It's gone with me to France. It's been with me in every kitchen job that I've had. But having a knife that you're comfortable with, that you're used to working with, is gonna help a lot in terms of accuracy. And it's also gonna make a really big difference in terms of fatigue. Like, I've got some good calluses going, lots of chopping, takes a little bit of time to get used to. But if you have a knife that you go back to over and over again, that's really helpful in developing your knife skills, and this can do just about anything. The type of knife that you have is obviously really important in terms of how effective it's going to be, how much you're going to enjoy working with it. So a couple of things to look for if you're in the market for a new chef's knife is making sure that the tang, which is the stainless steel, runs all the way through the base of the knife. This is going to help a lot in overall strength and stability of the knife, and also balance, which makes a really big difference when you're cutting. You want it to be pretty balanced from the handle to the blade, that there's about equal weight in the handle as there is in the blade. And then you're going to look for something that feels comfortable in your hand and with the shape and size of your hand and strength. So for me, that's why I go with an 8-inch instead of a 10-inch. I don't have huge hands, and I oftentimes do what's called choking up on the knife, which means that instead of gripping the handle, I'm actually coming up and gripping the butt of the blade. You can kind of see like this. That gives me a lot better range of motion and control in the knife than if I was holding it out here. Now that we're set up, let's head onto building block number 2, Mirepoix. Mirepoix is a fancy term for carrots, onions, and celery. Side note on celery, something that I would love to see happen in grocery stores is if celery could be purchased like bananas, where you can pull off as many stalks as you want without having to buy the entire bunch. But Mirepoix was named after the Duke of Mirepoix, whose chef created this delightful medley. If you want to sound like you know your way around a kitchen, throw this term into conversation. It's a great base for so many recipes, and you've actually probably prepared it before and didn't know that's what you were doing. It's great for Thanksgiving stuffing, soups, stocks, rice or grain dishes, casseroles, braised meat dishes, etc. This trio really comes in handy. And if you want to lean into French Cajun cuisine, then sub out the carrots for green bell peppers and call it the Holy Trinity. Now, you've learned 2 terms. Okay, I'm gonna walk you through how to cut an onion. If you learned nothing else from this video, you can learn how to cut an onion. I like to leave the root end on. It's gonna come in handy later, but I cut this end off. I usually peel back the first little bit. While it's all still whole. Sometimes you can get all of it. It wins a juicy onion, I can already tell. If you're gonna ask me what the trick is to not cry when you're cutting onions, there's not one, unfortunately. Okay, and then I'm gonna cut it in half. The root is gonna help keep the onion together while I'm cutting it. And then onions have a nice cheat sheet. They've got all these natural lines and grooves in them. That's gonna be your guide in terms of your dice, is you're just gonna follow the lines that nature has already given you. If you want it to be an even finer dice, you can cut the onion this way. I don't usually worry about that. And from here, you're just gonna cut down. You can get a little bit more off the root end. There you go. And if you're being really French, then you're also gonna save all of your scraps. This is gonna be for your stocks, your veggie stock, your chicken stock, etc. Okay, this right here, this is the example of why we love Mise En Place and why it's so important, because I'm done. Here, I've got all of my veggies that are ready to go in the fridge. I've got my scraps or trash that's ready to get discarded or turned into something else. I've got my knife and my cutting board that need to be cleaned, but then that's it. I've set myself up really well to not have a cluttered space while I'm working, which is super important if you're like me and you have a very tiny apartment kitchen where you don't have a lot of counter space. But then also too, it just frees up some of the mental clutter that comes when you're cooking. If you've got a lot that's scattered throughout your space, this keeps things more concise, but then it makes the cleanup go so fast too, because you've already set yourself up for success in that regards. That's it. That's lesson 1. Check. So glad to have you here today. This is starting kind of the launch of some new content on this channel where we're going to be a little bit more cooking focused and specific, give me a chance to dive into what that process is like for me and then hopefully translate that into your home environment. So be on the lookout for some recipes, especially centered around some holiday themes in the coming weeks. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and do that now and drop any questions that you may have about today's content, or if there's something that you would like to see me cover in the future, be sure to put that in the comments as well. Now I'm gonna have to go do some dishes.